There we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Ray Don't Care. My name is, and I'm here with a very special guest, Chris from T3Medias. How's you doing?
My friend, everybody cares who you are. I'm going to have to write a petition and make sure we finally get your name out there more and whatnot. We all definitely do care. But it's good to be here today, man.
It's great to see you, and hopefully you're doing well.
Oh yeah, outstanding. I'm great. I am supersonic good today.
All right. Well, yeah. If you've seen the title of the video, then you know we're going to be talking about Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Now, I already gave my thoughts about it, but I think, Chris, you said you saw it yesterday. You ready to give your thoughts about it?
Yep, I saw it yesterday. My son is a huge Sonic the Hedgehog fan. He plays the game, watches the videos every day. So it's like there's a new generation of people who have fallen in love with the character. And this is before movies ever come out. And now we finally have a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I would honestly say that I'm kind of jealous because I felt like my generation deserved it back in the 90s, but maybe technology wasn't there, so I'm probably glad we waited. But I saw Sonic the Hedgehog last night, and the one thing that I was very surprised that, well, not really surprised, but one thing I noticed when I sat down, I look around and I'm seeing family. I'm seeing fathers with their sons and mothers with their daughters, husbands and wives, and on date nights, because I think this is what the Valentine's Day weekend.
Yeah.
I'm seeing boyfriend, girlfriend, and I'm seeing kids just running around, getting yelled at by their parents to slow down because they just saw the movie. It reminded me of how I felt about when I first saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the first time, and I thought I was a ninja. It was pretty good. What about you? What'd you think about it? What'd you know?
Well, I love the movie because let's be honest, when that first trailer first came out, I think everyone was expecting it to bomb just because of how the original design looked.
Right.
But once fans rebelled, and then of course we had the embarrassment from that the fans were able to create their own Sonic trailer and they put in their Sonic. The embarrassment that Paramount must have felt from that, they decided to redesign it. I was happy how it looked. And when I went to go see it, I'm glad because the way it looked, I'm like, there's no way I would have fallen in love with this movie if we had the original design. There's no way that would have happened. But I agreed. Like, I did see a lot of parents with their kids, and I saw, couples going out there. I actually saw it with my girlfriend as well. So,
all right, date night. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a good time watching it, and I think everyone else had a good time with it too. So I agreed that the families were able to go see this with their kids, and it's a new generation that are gonna love this film.
Right. I could not convince my fiance to go see this with me. She gave me the, well, I have to work tonight excuse. I said, well, let's go early in the morning. Then she just snapped at, no, she's not a cartoon person. I'm still the Toys R Us kid in the in the house. But so I said, I'll go and take my kids with me, but they already were taken to see it. So I had to be that guy. I had to go by myself and watch it and I hope I sat in the section where it was far away from anybody else, and the way I wouldn't look like that guy.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about it was that I was able to zone out. It was just me. To me, it was just me and the screen. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this movie for what it is, despite the marketing. And I have my opinion. I'll get on that later. I have my opinion of whether or not that was good or bad for Paramount to cave in like that and change the design. But my overall thoughts of the movie when I watched it, I had fun with it. I immediately thought, if you're a Sonic the Hedgehog fan, if you're from when the character was first invented all the way to it, like my son, if you're new to the character, if you think Sonic just was invented yesterday and you don't realize how old it is, doesn't matter. If you're a Sonic enthusiast, you're gonna love this movie. You're gonna love the inside jokes and the little what do they call Easter eggs that are in there, or not even much Easter eggs. It was pretty much all in your face. It was a Sonic video game brought to life. And if you're a fan of just good, like I said, family fun, you're not going to be disappointed. It's like going to like one of those Disney or Pixar type movies where it's safe. We're going to bring our kids here. They're going to hopefully they're going to have a good time. It's one of those movies where your kids are just going to zone out. And if you're a kid at heart, you're going to zone out and have a great time and be absorbed by this world. And that's what it did to me. It brought me in. I had fun with it. There are some things I can criticize about it, but overall, I had a blast.
Yeah. Well, I think we should go over a little bit of it without spoiling people for this film, because
no spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers. So let's talk about the story, because I kind of figured going to this film they were not going to connect a lot of it to like the video game. Not everything was going to be a lot from it, and I got that from the very opening of it. I do like the way the story is safe. It's kind of like what they did with Detective Pikachu. Like, they kept it simple, they kept it easy for the fans to watch from the beginning, middle, and end. Because normally when we get these sort of video game films, they try to complicate things. They try to make it like cram a lot of things into one film, and I feel like that's not the right thing to do, because there's hours and hours of content from the video games you cannot put into one film.
Right.
You need to take this in the direction that Detective Pikachu went, and that worked. That was a successful film, and they did a good job with it. So with this one, I'm glad it was kept simple. I'm glad that it was something that both the adults and kids will like. And I like, it's kind of predictable, though. It is kind of predictable with some of the directions they took, but it's still not bad. I still liked it, and very curious to see where it's going to go later on. And how much money it made, and it's just his first week. They might make another one. Hopefully they will.
I agree with you on that. I'll start with the visuals, because I'm hearing two different things from two sets of people, if that makes sense, like online. Like, I will, from a person who is a visuals expert or a geek who knows their cinematography or knows their CGI, and just I guess is an Andy Serkis follower. They'll look at Sonic, and I have to agree with this. There were some parts of the movie where the special effects, like the drones and whatnot with Dr. Robotnik, I could pretty much tell that it wasn't there. It didn't blend that good, and I was wondering if that was due to the change that they made. Was the original concept design of Sonic, did it blend the shading of it and whatnot blend a little bit more, and that's why they went with that design, because he looked like he was tangible in our world. And then when they hurried up and they spent the extra $10 million, I forgot how much it was, to go back and paste the more traditional look of Sonic, if they didn't have time to erase around the edges and smooth it out as much, it still looked good. And I'm writing my notes down, like, so I don't think that I'm acting like like this is a political thing where we're debating and I'm writing my comebacks down or anything like that. I was actually writing down visuals. So kids that would watch this movie, of course, they probably wouldn't notice that. To them, Sonic is real, and that's how that it woke up the kid. And if you watch that commercial with the cereal with this frosting on one side, and
I remember that.
The kid in me was like, Sonic is here. But the CGI nerd in me was like, ooh, it's a little rough here and there. I can see it, and I noticed that people who are on Twitter or online criticizing the movie, saying that the visuals were either great, were the people who probably were just regular fans, just pundits, and just giving their thoughts, and maybe that's not their level of expertise. And then you have your CGI junkies who are like, the visuals aren't that great, but they still overall say, but if you're a Sonic fan, if you know this material, if you're a fan of the video game, you're gonna love it. So overall, the good for the visuals outweighed the bad.
I agree with that, but I honestly don't mind the change and with the Sonic design, because when I was watching the film, watching everything, how it was all going, I liked how Sonic looked. I like how I really cared about this character. I cared about what he's going through and the emotion and the expression he's giving. I liked it, and I just sat there, kept thinking to myself, if they had the original design, I would not have cared about this character. I actually would not have cared what happens, because I don't think the expression from the original design would have not connected well with a lot of people, and I think that's why I kind of like this, like the change. Now, granted, I agree with you that there were times in the movie when I feel like that CGI did not look right, but I still didn't mind it. I still didn't mind the design. I didn't mind, especially when we got to some of the fight scenes as well, which I actually thought was pretty cool. Uh, I especially love the Sonic, just when he's powering up, going all blue Super Saiyan
Right.
on us. I thought that looked good too.
And I bet you that was original from before they changed the look, because when he's balled up in a ball,
Yeah.
you don't really have to mess with it. I bet you only times that the only thing that they affected obviously was when Sonic was just regularly talking and just looking at the screen. But I like the look of that too.
Yeah, it looked good, but also like I said, I didn't really mind the effects, how it looked. Again, I do read there were times when it does look a little, but I kind of figured as much, because I kind of figured it wasn't going to be perfect, because like you said, they had to go back, they had to reshoot everything, they had to pretty much redesign the whole thing, and when they did that, I forgot when exactly they made that announcement, but I know it wasn't that long ago.
It was shortly after the trailer. It was immediate backlash. And
yeah. So
I'll go into that a little later, but go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of figured like they had to kind of rush this out, but I still didn't mind it, because it looked a lot better than the original design, and I think Paramount saved themselves from a little more embarrassment, because if they had kept to the original design, I guarantee this film probably would have bombed, because I don't think a lot of those fans would have gone to see it.
I wouldn't. I'm not on the part where I would say bomb necessarily, because I agree that with some other people who say that the look of Sonic doesn't change. Things that Sonic said, they didn't change the voice, so they didn't change anything else. They just the jokes would have still been the same. If the jokes were bad or good, the jokes have still been bad or good, no matter how Sonic looked. But I will agree that core Sonic fans, like the people who really love Sonic, probably would have stayed home. You probably edged out a couple million more than you would have, and then maybe more than that, because word of mouth after that from the core fans to the regular audience was like, no, it's great, and it looks good, and whatnot. So probably you probably edged out another 10, 20, maybe million out of it. But I would. I guess there's no way of knowing. I think my opinion on the change is that I don't think that directors should allow the audience to dictate their movie. If you have a vision and whatnot, you make your movie, and then do the best job that you can. But in this one special situation, I am glad that they did make that change, because for two reasons. Well, for one, when I saw the original design, to me it looked like it didn't look like an alien come from outer space to Earth, like Sonic is supposed to be.
Yeah.
It looked like a mutant hedgehog from Earth who got into a badge of ooze and was raised by Master Splinter to save us from the
or rather was raised by Michael Bay.
Exactly. But when they went with the cartoony video game look, he looked alien. He looked nothing from this world. I mean, the question of what are you was had to have been raised a couple times in the movie, even when they were told what he is. It just made it more of a, I don't know if cartoon feel is the right word for it, but it just felt more. It just felt better to me. It warmed my heart up. I wasn't looking at something that could have looked like a experiment gone wrong. I was looking at a totally not from this world, fun little creature that has a friendly, non-nightmarish look on its face,
Yeah.
trying to win me over, kind of a feeling. So that I think it for visually for the Sonic fan at heart and for the kids, I think in this one rare occasion, I think they made the right decision. And maybe the director was like, maybe he didn't have his heart really set on it either way. He probably didn't care. That's probably why he caved so fast. He probably didn't even feel as if he was caving. He probably was like, yeah, you know what? I was a coin flip anyway. If that's what they want, go ahead. That's how I took it. I felt like he didn't really care. He's like, all right.
Yeah. Well, I actually wanted to ask you this. Going back to the story, did you mind some of the changes they made with Sonic, his origin, and just the origin with Robotnik, just the changes they made there? Are you fine with how the direction they took there?
No, I was fine with it. I have no problem with it, but I can understand it if hardcore Sonic fans might have a problem with it. But at the same time, no matter how many there are in comparison to the general going audience, it's a very small number. So it's not going to affect. If every Sonic crazed fan stayed home, it would make, for this movie, I think it would have made a big difference. But in theory, it's not supposed to, because the such a minority. But I, as a person who played Sonic and Sega Genesis since the 90s, and I still never questioned that origin. Where did Dr. Robotnik come from? Why is this a whole different planet that they seem to share, or is Dr. Robotnik I know the answer is out there, like X-Files, but and in other video games and other adaptations. But me playing Sonic the Hedgehog, I never cared. Even when I watched the cartoons, they never really go deep into it. In the video game, they never really go deep into it. You just get on the game, you play, you know he's the guy trying to throw the egg bombs at you and shoot you with little wasp stinger rays.
Yeah.
And you blow them up. That was it. So them creating a new background or a new origin for him being from our Earth instead of from Sonic's world, it didn't bother me at all. It fit, and it would make more sense for the people who are not, hardcore Sonic fans. You have them as an Earthling trying to fight an alien invasion, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I kind of didn't mind really much the changes in the story, because I kind of figured with any sort of video game into live action film, or even with anime, they'll make some changes here and there. I'm just glad they didn't make too much changes.
Right.
But I did like how, I like where he came from, and I like the rings. Granted, my girlfriend did have a problem with that, but I'm like, they were gonna make some changes either way. And I'm just glad they showed that where he kept the rings. Unlike in the video game, there's theories going around where he's been keeping them.
Oh no, that's not.
Oh yeah.
The second you finish the sentence,
there you go.
Like, don't do it. Like where he actually keeps. As from the video game standpoint, I guess that's his energy they absorb in his body. It's like him drinking water, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But those the story of like the rings and whatnot, it was a unique a spin on it. It was a good way to incorporate it into the storyline and make it a central part of the story. So they used it, I feel, properly. And for, like I said, for hardcore Sonic fans, there were a lot of things in there. I won't spoil it, but there were a lot of things with those rings that you go, yeah, that was straight up out of the video game, and that was awesome. And even with little things like towards the end of it, I noticed that there was some music that was being played that they blended it in so well. I almost didn't catch it, but throughout the movie, you're seeing the conversation, and things are playing along. If you listen close to the music, hardcore Sonic fans, you will hear things. You're like, I know where that's from. I enjoyed that.
All right. Well, let's get down to the actors playing the characters. What did you think about Ben Schwartz as Sonic? What did you think of Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik? And what did you think of everyone else as well?
I would say Ben was Sonic. I don't think he's the voice actor who does the Sonic on the video game now or the Sonic Boom cartoon. I don't think he's
Um,
is he the voice actor for the Sonic Boom cartoon?
Let me look that up right now. But
Because I want to say no, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is, because I know he does a lot of other voice acting work, like the new DuckTales and things like that. So he might be the quintessential voice for Sonic. But
no, he's not.
he's not.
He
Okay.
no.
So he I know he does voice acting. I think he's either Huey, Dewey, or Louie on the new DuckTales. But he's becoming, if I'm gonna say this, after this movie, I would not be surprised that on unless we can't afford him anymore. I mean the studios can't afford him.
I'm sure they will.
They're going to try to make him the quintessential. So I'm pretty sure they, like you said, that they will. I'm like the video games moving forward and the cartoon. No offense to the person who's been playing the voice of Sonic. If they keep him on everything else, that's fine. But if they only have been as the Sonic for the movies, that's fine. I wouldn't. I love both sounds, but they did a very good job of getting his voice to sound just like the actor who plays Sonic on the video games and the Sonic Boom cartoons. I would have sworn that was who they hired. And but Ben did an amazing job. So everything that the jokes that Sonic delivered and whatnot, the dialogue there, a lot of it was cheesy stuff and whatnot. A lot of it was stuff that only the fans would, hardcore fans would get. But the dynamic that between Sonic and what was the sheriff's name, the character?
Tom. Tom. He was played by James
Tom
Marsden.
Yeah,
who actually played Cyclops in the X-Men movie.
Yeah, Cyclops. Him and Cyclops. The dynamic between them two. He did a really good job. Most actors will struggle with that. Look at the rubber ball and pretends the character, the alien is that you're talking to is there and whatnot. A lot of people struggle with that green screen thing, but I enjoyed everything between them two. It was very heartwarming. It was a good back and forth between those two, and I believed it. I liked it. Jim Carrey, obviously, he stole this every scene that he was in. We got vintage Jim Carrey. I mean, back from In Living Color days. That was that Jim Carrey. So if you want to remember Jim Carrey from the 90s and whatnot, I feel like they plucked Jim Carrey from his prime, and that's the Dr. Robotnik we got. That was an amazing performance.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I agree with you on the chemistry between Sonic and the sheriff. I love it. I thought this is actually very good. I liked the interaction between the two. I was kind of worried that that the actor playing him, James, was not going to put a lot of effort into it, but I'm like, no, he actually put some very good effort into it, and I liked the interaction he had with Sonic. And yeah, you're right. It must be difficult to have the actor talking to something that's not really there.
Right.
But I thought they did a great job with it. And Jim Carrey, I felt like he was the star of the film, and you can tell an actor is having fun with their role just by the way they're performing it. And Jim Carrey, you could tell he was having so much fun with that performance.
Right.
And I was surprised, the guy is nearing his 60s and he still is able to pull it off, just able to make you laugh, just have a great time. And he just has fun with it. So I thought he did a great job with this role. And I heard he actually took him some time to, get the character down. And that just shows how, he's dedicated for this role, how dedicated he was to playing this role and how he actually loves this character.
Yeah.
So, and especially the ending where I'm like, yeah, if they continue bringing Jim Carrey and Ben in to play the reprisal roles for the sequel, I would love it. Because I think
going full robot, but one of the things that I would have to criticize, maybe it was a good idea, maybe not. I guess time will tell. The surprise of him going full Robotnik, that was revealed in the first trailer as a little. I thought that was a bad idea. That, but at the same time, you know what? I'm going to say that Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, is the exception to the rule from now on, because They broke a lot of rules, like the whole thing where the director caves into fans' requests. I don't agree with that stuff, because I believe that if you're the one with the vision, you're supposed to tell the best story, and you're supposed to bring the fans along. You're not supposed to have them. There's a reason why I'm not a director. I would destroy your movie. I would be terrible. So don't let me bully you and messing up your vision. But he did it, and I feel like it's working. I do not send up a signal to all directors to do this, because trust me, even though we feel like we know more about it, I love Marvel, and I think I know more than the direct. No, I would be terrible. Kevin Feige, don't listen to me. But I think this is the exception to the rule. I think that was a good move, and maybe he was on the fence of it anyway. I think the choice to show full Dr. Robotnik in the first trailer, I thought it was a bad idea. Maybe it wasn't, because maybe this was the exception to the rule. So I am excited, like you said, to see if this gets a sequel. If Jim Carrey, whatever Jim Carrey was in the first one, I think he's about. If that wasn't cranked up to 10 already, oh my goodness, what are we about to get? Because
I think he could go further. I think he could go further than that. Also, damn, hold on.
Did you? Did you have a little hiccup?
Yeah, my video is having a little hiccup. I don't know if you can. No,
I can still hear you. So if you want, you can put me full screen if you want. We can we can scare off some people.
Or just have the darkness there.
All right, but
darkness, my old friend.
But I'm just thinking that Jim Carrey was. I thought he was giving. I feel like he was giving us everything, and then now with the potential of where it could go, this could be one of the best characters for Jim Carrey that he's had in maybe a long time. I'm not saying this is his next Ace Ventura, but keep going on this path. Nobody thought that John Wick would do as good as it was going to when they first made it. They didn't predict a franchise. For Jim Carrey, this Dr. Robotnik character could be huge, especially for kids.
Yeah, I think that's actually what I was thinking, that I think he's going to have a lot of fun with this. I think he's going to be able to continue doing this, and I think the studio would be able to bring them back in. I mean, both actors did say they would love to come back for this. So I think they would definitely want to come back and, do more. And I think they will, especially with how Detective Pikachu is going, and how you told me before we did the video that Lara Croft, they're bringing it back. They're going to do another reboot of the Resident Evil movie. And Warner Brothers, I heard they're going to do a Mario movie. So I think Paramount will want to keep this up. They want to make sure they'll be able to keep up with all these other studios, what they're doing. So I can see them continuing with this. And who knows? We might even see some of the other characters show up from the game as well. So I wouldn't mind seeing Shadows the Hedgehog on the big screen. I wouldn't mind seeing Metal Sonic too. But again, we have to see how it goes.
Yeah, if I was a betting man, I mean, if you got Dr. Robotnik, I mean, if I would go on the timeline, probably the way the video games went. If I was a betting man, I would probably say Metal Sonic would be a good way to go in the future, and for a next one if they do another.
Yeah. So to be honest, I think this film, along with Detective Pikachu, is a good start for video game movies. I think it's good that they're, going in this different direction instead of the ones we've been getting in the past that have been not that good.
I have a question for you then. What would you say would be, if there was a turning point where everybody was saying video game movies are on a downward trajectory, and it has been since the 90s or the dawn of video game movie time, where would be the moment where it started to bounce, where the stock would start? What film would you say it's this one, or would you say there's another one before this or after?
Well, I actually thought the first Resident Evil film, I thought that was okay. This is a nice direction they took. I thought that was where they were going to go with it, but then they started, bringing out all those sequels, and it just changed everything. They just completely changed the story every single time.
It stopped being, to me, it stopped being a video game adaptation. It just started to be its own little, franchise.
Yeah. So I just felt like a lot of the video game films they kept bringing out, from Hitman to those the the Assassin's Creed film. I thought there's got to be some film they can do that can actually do well. And when Detective Pikachu came out, I thought, okay, this is not bad. This is a good direction they're taking it. Let's keep this going. And now with Sonic, I'm like, okay, I'm liking this now. I'm starting to have faith in video game films now.
Did Pokemon begin as a video game, or did it begin as a cartoon first?
It began as a video game, and later it became into the anime series.
Okay, so then it would always technically be a video game adaptation. Okay, so
Yeah.
your that moment, that bounce would be you're saying that's Detective Pikachu?
Yes, I would definitely say that. And now with this film, it's looking
Still
very good.
You think it's going? I'm going to go further than that. I'm going to say that the first rebooted Lara Croft movie, Tomb Raider, I feel like that was the bounce. I saw, even though it was rough and people were like, I don't know if I like it as much as I like the original Tomb Raiders with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, are you out of your mind? They pulled the storyline from when they rebooted the video game and made the video game more realistic. They took the movie in that direction, and I felt like that was a more grittier, a more realistic Lara Croft. And when I felt like they weren't going to make a sequel to that, I remember feeling so bummed. I said, this is the direction to me that video game movies should be going. And then when they announced that they're going to then I think after the success of Pikachu, that's when the bounce hit for you. And then now, I think that was when it happened. I think the moment it happened for you with Detective Pikachu was the thing that gave new life or new hopes for video games and movies in the future, and probably helped their decision for greenlighting another Lara Croft, because it made money and it was right there on the line for a yes or a no for a sequel. And I think the trajectory moving forward, thanks to Detective Pikachu, and now thanks to Sonic, I think video game movies are going to now be taken more seriously. I'm looking forward to Mortal Kombat. I'm looking forward to a lot of new things out there. So let's hope.
Provided Mortal Kombat becomes rated R.
Right, right. Yeah. We were talking earlier before we started about should it be R? Should things? That's like we can debate on whether or not Birds of Prey should have been R or not. That's a good argument. But Mortal Kombat is gonna definitely be R. So people who have seen Sonic, you're not gonna want to take your kids to see whatever they probably do with Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. But they will. Let's be honest. I've seen horror films, and I see parents bringing their kids along with that. I even hear a baby in the theater. I'm like, oh my god! So they will do it. They will bring him either way.
My kid's mature enough my kid is probably mature enough to handle it too. But the majority of parents are gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, that's something you want to do. So, is there anything else you want to talk about this film?
Just I guess to recap overall, like I said, I had a blast with this movie. There were flaws in it, but the flaws in it were the things that you're gonna look for if you got one of those geeky CGI eyes where you're a perfectionist and you're looking for an Oscar performance out of everything. Yeah, you're gonna notice those things. But if you're if you wanted to go to a movie and have a great time, you want to laugh, you want to just be entertained and just smile, enjoy while you're enjoying that buttery popcorn, which I had a big tub of. I got a free popcorn and free soda because it was my birthday, and AMC A-List gives you a large popcorn and soda, so I took advantage of that. It's one of those movies, man. It's one of those popcorn movies. It's your kids will love it. Your kids will keep holding their hands after they watch the movie, because they will run and while you're walking to the car. So it's one of those movies. So I give it a thumbs up. It's good for the family, and I probably will watch it again and go try it and check it out again.
Yeah, I totally agree. This is definitely the kind of film you would definitely want to take your kids to see. You want to take maybe even your friends to go see it if they're if they want to have a good time, and even your loved one as well. So it is recommended. Although if you have your kids, just make sure you keep an eye on them as soon as you finish, because they'll be
they will run.
They will run. And it is a film that you could definitely go back and see again, and especially if you want to see any of the Easter eggs that you've probably missed and you were too focused on the film. So yeah, I definitely will recommend it. You recommended Chris, so
Yes, sir.
that's great. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you have a different opinion about this film, just let us know what you guys think, and also check out Chris on T3Medias as well. I recommend checking out his videos and subscribing to his channel. And is there any other people you want to recommend?
Yeah. Just check out us. We have a whole network. We are collaborating with a lot of YouTubers on T3Medias.com and on the YouTube channel, like JFS here. So yeah, come check us out if you like movie reviews, interviews with some celebrities, some variety streamer influencers and whatnot, and just if you like TV, video games, and all that good geeky stuff, come check us out at T3Medias. You can always reach me on social media at T3Medias and on our website. So just, come check us out.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, buddy. And hope we can do this again.
Outstanding. Thanks.
All right. Take care, everyone. See you all next time. Give you more love and more entertainment. Bye.